Welcome to Stick to Your Dreams, a channel with no scripts and just good old talk about tech. Okay, here we go. So you want to start a website and you don't want to go through all those simple 10 places and you want to do custom coding. Okay, well, in today's world, I suggest the following things. Open Internet Explorer or Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome or Firefox or DuckDuckGo. Okay, you'll want two things. Okay, download here Node.js. Okay, download Node.js. Get the MSI Windows installer right here, nodejs.org. You'll need that as a backend environment for what we're about to do. Then I highly suggest to download Git. Git is for uploading your files or version control basically for your website. That way you can mess up and not be afraid of it. Okay, now you got Git downloaded and you got Node.js downloaded. Go ahead and open your favorite IDE. I highly suggest the free version of Visual Studio Code. However, I do use WebStorm. So today's video will be focused around WebStorm. It is a paid application. I do this for a living. Okay, now, first thing you want to do, we'll keep this window open for reference. Okay? Because there's no point in remembering anything if you already have it in code. So go to New Project. Once you log into WebStorm, you'll have to verify and everything. Okay, location. I have it on my E drive, not my C drive, because I don't want to take up on my C drive operating system space. Name it whatever you want. In this case, we'll name it Tutorial. But not New Project. I don't like that. I personally, for website, use Angular. Use whatever you like. Angular or React, Vite. There's some other ones that aren't located here. So then, click on Angular CLI. Name it whatever you want. We'll rename it Tutorial. See nodes already installed, npx package manager, additional parameters, create new standalone components, highly recommend. Use default project, highly recommend. Go ahead and click create. We're going to go new window because we're going to use this window for reference later. You'll understand here in a bit. Okay, that's kind of annoying. Okay, no kidding. Okay, whatever. New Windows 11, I'm not used to it yet. You'll see it's installing preliminaries for what it needs for Angular CLI. So we'll wait. And while we wait, I have to mention, if you don't want to do this yourself, you can always visit my website at sticktoyourdreams.com. Sticktoyourdreams.com, that's the number 2, not T-O-O, S-T-I-C-K, the number 2, yourdreams.com. Okay, it's done initializing. Okay, and initialize with Git as well. Highly recommend Git. You'll need a GitHub account. Just go to github.com. Now open your terminal. See this little button here? WebStorm. Visual Studio has similar effects. Now, close this because I like things organized. Go to Source. Have that open and ready to go. Okay? So, most websites have a home page, an about page, a contact page, and whatever you want from there. So let's go ahead and make those three, and I'll show you why I love Angular CLI so much. Now, you'll want to type ng space g space c, the name of your component, because they are components and you can piece them together later. Here's what I mean. Create ng gc home. It created my home folder. If you reload it, app, home. See how it's separated? This is why I love Angular CLI. Go ahead, ng, g, c, about. Created ng space g space c. contact. Okay, we got home, about, contact. What else does a website need? A nav bar, ngGC, nav bar, and a footer, ngGC, footer. Okay, those are all created. Look at that, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, now the reference side of it. Okay, so here's what you're gonna need to do. You probably want pictures and stuff, right? Within your website. Who doesn't love pictures? A website with no pictures is no website at all these days, in my opinion. So, under source, let's minimize that. Go ahead, right click, new, directory. Call it assets, call it images, call it thingamabobber jiggers. I do not care what you call it. Standard's assets, though. The standard naming convention is assets. Okay, so you have that assets folder. You drag images into this folder. It's as simple as copying the images from Windows Explorer. By the way, to open a new Windows Explorer in Windows, press Windows E. That opens a new Windows Explorer window. You want another one open? Press Windows E. You want another one? Press Windows E. You get the point? Okay? And you can drag whatever pictures you want in from there. Now, here's the key point. You're like, okay, so let's do some basic CSS right now, okay? So you're like, okay, I got, let's do home, okay? Let's do home. Why is it red? Why is it red? Great question. Because I haven't uploaded to GitHub yet, because it's Git initialized. Okay? Does that make sense? Yes, it does. Okay, let's continue. Now, very important. First thing I like to do is I like to create my routing. No routing, no links, not much of a website. So, you'll want routes. Go ahead and type in router module. Okay. Export class. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to copy and paste here, and I'll explain what they do. Hold on. So one second for spatial identification. This is from my prior website. Everything's underlined red because it's not here. But we can go through the general things. Okay. ng module. Highly recommend. This is for links and stuff. Now, home has to be component. See all these words? Component, component, component. Name it whatever you want. Name it about. Name it cheese. Name it thingamabobbers. I do not care. But as long as it has component at the end of it. And then home.component. Home.component. How do I know it's called that? Well, let's see. In your TypeScript folder, home.component. You don't not need the HTML. I repeat, do not need the HTML. It's called home.component. Let's go to about. Let's go to the TypeScript folder. This one's called about.component. Now here's one thing I highly recommend. Since I do love Angular so much because you can piece things together. In order to do that effectively, that's right, there's no scripts on this show, we're just saying words, okay? In order to do that effectively, okay, you're going to need to set this up as a standalone component. How do you do that, you may ask? Yes, it's a great question. So, you can put it anywhere you want. I like it, put it under selector. Type in this word, stand, alone, colon, true, comma, save, Control S. Okay, that makes it a standalone component. Very, very useful. Okay, good. Export class home component. Back to routes. Home component, and now you understand why it's called that. You can call this whatever you want. I do not care, as long as it has component at the end of it. Now, export constant routes. Routes equals bracket, end bracket, semicolon, path, this. Two quotations empty, that's index, or home. Component, home component. So when I link a path of that, it'll redirect to the home component. When I link a path of about, it'll redirect to the about page or about component. Contact redirects to the contact component, yada yada, so on so on. This is extra. You don't need this. However, if you do want to go to your website, let's say https colon / mywebsite.com / about, you will not be able to do the / about unless you have this here. Use hash false. Okay? Let's continue on with some basic things. So you have all this set up. Now you're ready to start creating. Homeworks. Awesome. Coolio. So, we're not going to do any much coding. There's just a few things I want to go over. When you go into your CSS file, and so if you want to set up global components, that'd be in the app component.css file. Okay? No, I'm sorry. Global components will be under styles.css. So you can set your global components here, HTML and body. So you set your font family. Good ones: Roboto, sans serif, Arial. You can set margins to, I would set margin padding to 0, overflow X hidden, that way you don't have to do it on each page, and scroll behavior smooth. Okay, whatever. Do whatever you want. I spelled hidden wrong. It's fine. You can always correct it later. It's totally fine. Now, for an example, I'll tell you how this works, and I'll show you how this works. Okay. So let's pull up an HTML here. Let's really do a div ID equals, let's call it home dash hero. Okay, home hero. Okay. Now you do like, okay, home hero. So you do a home hero, and then let's do position relative, display flex. You don't need that if you don't want to. So let's say your background image URL. I don't have one yet, but let's say you put one in there. And then you do background size, usually cover, background, position, background position, bottom. Depends if I want to see the bottom. Background repeat, no repeat, depending on your circumstances. Okay, and then you set the width to 100%, you set the height to 100 VH, okay? And you also don't need that, but let's, for shits and giggles, let's do z-index at 0, even though it's already defaultly at z-index at 0. So you got that in there, and you're like, oh, my background image isn't displaying, my background image isn't displaying, my background image isn't displaying. It's not going to, and let me tell you why. Why isn't your background image displaying? So you need to tell it where the assets folder is, basically. So to tell Angular where your assets folder is, so you can put in all your lovely, beautiful images. Firefly.adobe.com is a great source, paid source to get wonderful images. I'm not even sponsored by Adobe. I just love their products. Okay. So you want to go, there's a file here called angular.json. See that? Click on that. Assets. Okay? Go ahead right after the entry bracket, hit an enter. Go ahead and hit a tab. So, where's your assets folder? It's under source, assets. You have to tell Angular CLI this, or else it will not load any images. Took me forever to figure that out. Very frustrating. I want to let you guys know so you don't have to deal with the same stuff I went through. Okay, so you got that, and now you can design it however you want. You're free to go. You're free like a bison on the great prairies long, long ago. Now you're like, okay, I want to see my website. Great. ng space serve. That's ng space serve. Localhost / 4200 is the default, the port, I mean. And you're like, error. Could not resolve. Home component. There's no background image. Well, okie dokie. Everything is correctable. Everything is correctable. It does not matter as long as you correct it. Okay? It wants a background image. We'll just do a background color, red, just to make it fun. And those don't exist. So let's go ahead and delete those. And these don't exist as well. Let's delete those. Okay. An unhandled exception occurred. Builder must provide an initial full build. What? Clear that. Let's do that again. ng serve. Okay. Now, localhost 4200. Oh my gosh, this isn't what I typed. Not at all. What is this? Hello tutorial. Weird. What's going on? How do I do everything? Well, let me tell you, friend. I'll show you what you need to do. So you need to go into your app component.html. This part here. And my friend, go ahead and delete everything. Okay. Now I'm going to do some copy and pasting. Your navbar. Your router outlet, which is just to your links work, and your footer. Why is it red? Why is it red, Jason? Because I don't have the correct formula for work. I just don't have the formula. Anyways, it tells you the error message. Ah, I think I know what's going on. Okay, let's go into the navbar TypeScript. Let's make this standalone. And then the footer as well. Make the footer standalone. Oh yeah. App footer is not a known element. Huh. Well, it clearly says it is. App footer. Standalone true. ¿Por qué no funciona? No sé. No sé. I don't know. Hey, start here. We're gonna have to edit this out. App footer is not a known component. This just doesn't make any sense. Fuck. Import footer component. start here. Alright, so those error messages, you want to go into your appconfig.ts file. I'm sorry, not config, appcomponent.ts file. And you want to basically add the footer and the navbar globally. That way the navbar and the footer on every page, and that's under app component. The navbar and you want to add it globally. Okay. You also want to do a standalone of true. And then in the imports, you want to add the navbar component and the footer component. Just go to click on that. Clear. Serve. Serve me up a hot piece of pie. Okay, so you see this is the navbar. This is where the footer be. It's globally on every page. I'm not going to make a navbar. I'm not going to make a footer. That may be another video. But that is it for this video. That is how you get up and running and started with your own Angular CLI project in this specific instance. If you have any questions at all, please leave in the comments below or go to sticktoyourdreams.com and I will put the links for the Node.js, the Git download, the Visual Studio download, the WebStorm download in the description below. You guys have yourself a wonderful day and always, always stick to your dreams. Okay.